Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we've got a bit of a special video that we've done before, and we did it for Men-at-Arms when they got their mastery. That was Men-at-Arms versus everything. And obviously we just had the Queen's Knights. I've done a video on them already, just a kind of first day review on them. And obviously I did say in the video that you give it a few days, people will kind of work out how to play them properly and how to do it, and they've got a bit of a skill cap to them in terms of the one ability ignoring damage, so you're going to want to time that at the right time. But I wanted to see what they could go up against, so we've done a Queen's Knights versus everything. So yeah, I've changed a few things with the Queen's Knights, so we'll probably go and have a quick look at their vet line and their doctrines. So let's do that now. Okay, so first up, not a huge amount has changed here. We've still got the they cannot be damaged after running through. We've got an epic damage doctrine. We've got a piercing defense doctrine. And this is the new one. We've got the Queen's Knight toughness doctrine that reduces the cooldown of bash and thrust by 5 seconds. And then obviously we've got the blue one that reduces damage taken when using bash and thrust by 18%. So that's really nice. So everything's the same apart from this that reduces the cooldown of bash and thrust. That is kind of the main thing I was looking for. And then obviously moving on to the vet line, because we got that doctrine, we've gone and tried the bottom line and seeing how it's worked. So we've got obviously 15% damage reduction in general to melee. And then when using bash and thrust, we get another 15% damage reduction. We've got a good repel, so it just kind of pushes them back and interrupts them. On the first bash and thrust, we get a stun, 1.5 seconds. More damage for bash and thrust. And then obviously it goes up to movement up here, and then everything else just health and more damage for run them through and penetration. So yeah, I've been running bottom line. Not sure if I prefer it to top line, but that is, for the cadence of this video, that is what we're using. So let's go have a look at the fights and see how they get on. So we are starting off with Men-at-Arms, of course. We're going in for the one ability to avoid that initial hit by the Men-at-Arms. But obviously cover commander is being used. It's looking a bit ropey for the Queen's Knights at this point. And the guy playing the Men-at-Arms is doing a great job of cover commander on, cover commander off, to obviously give that hidden 60%, I think it is, on a decay damage reduction. So it looks like it's going to be over for the Queen's Knights here. That kind of was expected. But yeah, and I also want to say thanks to the guy that helped out with this. Really appreciate you. Thank you, dude. So that looks like the end for the old Queen's Knights here. So that's a 215 leadership beating them. Moving on next, we have Zweihanders. Zweihanders coming in. Tried to go in for the one to ignore that first hit. Maybe a little bit early on the one ability. But yeah, it was never going to happen. The Zweihanders absolutely destroy these boys. Okay, when you're ready. Now, moving on. Iron Reapers. So this was an interesting one. I was really wanted to see how they got on against these. And so he starts off with the flail and then moves to the sword and then switches back to the flail. He's switching between the two. That's a decent way to play these. And yeah, we are getting thoroughly wiped out. I'm spamming my button to get my 2 off again to give myself that damage reduction, but it was over from the word go on this one, unfortunately. You ready? Shield Maidens. Now this actually was the first success. I used the one ability to get rid of their first cover commander hit. So we didn't take much damage there, and then we just proceed to absolutely annihilate them with bash and thrust. So over and done with quickly. Shield Maidens fallen off massively. Next up, we have VGs. This one was interesting because I was expecting to actually do relatively well versus VGs, but yeah, we timed our first attack perfectly on the axe swing. So if you rewatch that, you'll see that we ignore the first hit completely. That was perfect, but they just kind of, yeah, they start ticking over. But this one kind of ends up being a bit of a fair fight, or well, we end up with sort of half a stack left. as expected, VGs still need a buff, but yeah, I wasn't expecting them to kill this many. Now we're on to Roman shields, Murmalones, and this one I wait. I let them take the first hit, and then I use one to avoid the second hit. That I thought was a decent enough play for those, and then Bash and Thrust comes off and the damage just rolls in. And obviously when we Bash and Thrust, we gain that damage reduction as well, like 18% from the Doctrine, and then another 30% from the vet line, so that is quite substantial. Moving on, we got Walking Pikes, and we do this one twice, so later on in the video you'll see this again, and yeah. It's a bit rough, but we do come off okay with this one. The walk, pretty brutal. We do try and avoid it with the thrust, but obviously I don't know how that works when you're knocked down, so it's kind of an interesting one. But we come out on top on this one. So, yeah, but we basically have no stack left after that. But, yeah, that's IPGs. Now we have Madao, it looks like, and we're gonna crush straight through Madao. These guys are actually incredibly good against these for some reason. Not sure why, but yeah, we totally annihilate Madao. Nothing they can do. I think we only lose one here. Okay. Sealadars, into the Sealadars. Now this one I was really intrigued to see because I love Sealadars. I really want Sealadars to be good again. They are such a cool unit. They look incredible. And actually, they do relatively well until they kind of lose a bit of focus. And it's when that Decapitate runs out, they start losing the pressure. But, you know, they basically wipe our stack. So it's a almost fair trade-off. What are we down to? 8 left. So, yeah, but it's basically over 7 left. And that's the end of their stack there. Now we got Orochi Samurai. This one's over again pretty quickly. This one really relies on you timing your one ability perfectly to avoid the stab. We do run this one again later, starting with the 2 ability. So Imperial Spears. This was actually surprising because these guys for some reason can do extremely well against these shields. So that was nice to see. We didn't take any losses. We didn't take that much damage. It was just, it was really good at breaking shields. But yeah, as I said, for something that's basically carrying a rapier, I wasn't expecting. But yeah, easily smashed through the shields. Now we've got Palace Guards. This one again, I didn't really know how this was going to go, but yeah, they're very good at killing Palace Guards, even when they get up and throw us around a bit. We do take a few deaths here, but a bit of loss, and we get a bit low, but we actually do come out with a good amount of our unit left. So the Palace Guards, no problem. So here we have the second Orochi, and he's going to open up with 2 to see if this is any better than getting avoided on the first strike. So he goes in for the 2. That does quite a lot, disarms me, and then into a stab. So yeah, if you're going up against Queen's Knights with Orochi, open up with 2. Looks like it works better if the guy knows what they're doing. And now we've got Mushas. Now this I was excited to see because I thought we'd do really well. But yeah, the Mushas slaughter these somehow. I thought I'd avoided the first bit of damage, and then they ramp up their damage, and it's over. I mean, it's a bit of a fair trade-off. Like, we're both down to not many troops, but the cost of leadership difference is quite substantial. So yeah, and the Mushas do come out on top, even though there's only 3 of them left by the end. They take the win on this one. Okay. Now we have Imperial Javelinins, and I wanted to test this. He got a throw in. I go for a stab, and then we go in for a Bash and Thrust, and basically it's over because they get stunned on their shield throw, Obviously, their full mastery shield throw, they get stunned on it, and it's over for them. I believe if they had have got the shield throw off, we would have got wiped. But now we have monks that obviously spin to win. Used to be incredible back in the day, the Crescent monks, but they've fallen off a bit. But actually, for some reason, 1v1, they're pretty good at killing Queen's Knights. Just, I didn't feel like I could get the damage down on them. Couldn't land the damage. They just, yeah, didn't actually. I think they only took one loss in the end. That's surprising. Yeah. And now we've got Ratan pikes. So this was really interesting. Ratan pikes should reduce the damage of everything around them and basically nullify everybody's damage. But for some reason with these guys, they don't nullify their damage. So I don't know if that's a bug or what's going on with it, but yeah, they don't ruin the damage of these guys. We test this twice. I bring my Ratans that are fully done. Now we're going for claymores versus the Queen's Knights. And this was surprising as well. I thought claymores would get absolutely ruined, but we pop for freedom. We go in there and we get that AoE rolling, and yeah, we come out with still a decent amount with the claymores. Even though they go into sleepy mode here, there isn't enough of the Queen's Knights left to do anything substantial, and we got 3 of the guys were back killing the hero, so they did pretty well. And then we've got the Queen's Knights versus Prefecture Guards. That doesn't go very well for the Prefecture Guards. These guys absolutely annihilate them. Now we've got my Ratan Pikes versus Queen's Knights, and yeah, this was just to prove the concept that basically they ignore the damage reduction. That is totally thing. I have the Ratan Doctrine on these boys as well, fully mastered Ratan Doctrine, yeah, and they totally destroy them when they shouldn't really. These guys should be able to reduce their damage to nothing. And finishing off, we're going for the Walking Pikes again. In they come, and this is a much better representation of how it should go with Walking Pikes. Gets into the stab, and basically
Oh
claps,
my god.
my surprise, claps the entire stack. So, yeah. So, that's it. I know it's not every single unit. There's definitely units we missed out. But it's just a little taster against, mainly I wanted to see against the Men-at-Arms, the Mushas, that sort of thing. But we added extra in there so you could check it out and see what you think. They come down to timing at the end, but a lot of the time you'll get the timing right, but there's a follow-up move that will kill them that's a bit annoying. But they're still a good unit. They're enjoyable. They're a lot of fun. So, yeah, this little bit of a tester here, and I hope it means something to you and you've enjoyed it. So... yeah, if you like this sort of content, I'd really appreciate the sub. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.